Welcome, Anandi. You are muted. Okay.
Good morning, Mommy. I'm good.
Good morning, good evening, everybody. We are starting. Today we are doing chapter 13, second part, verse 19 to 34. So let me start. Om. So we are going through Chaitanya Vibhaga Yoga. So now in verse 19, it says, in transactional reality, interacting, that is the interacting world, many Indian languages, Purusha means a male. But in Gita, Purusha refers to Nirguna Brahman. That is Kshetranya, Atman, Purusha, Nyayam, all these are same. The inner presence in every being. Scriptures call our body a location, a city, a Kshetram. Kshetram means a Puri, a settlement or a place, location. And one who lives in that city is Purusha. That is why we often say that this body is the temple of God. In India, the names are very popular. You can see Durgapur, Manipur, Jaipur, Kanpur, Jodhpur, Udaipur, Hastinapur. And in South also, we have Dharmapuri, Kanchipuram, Ramanadapuram, Mailapur. All these names are locations. So in Lahore also, there is Lavapuri, where Lavapucha, they were ruling it. So Puri is a location where divine is present. So Purusha also means all pervasive. That is the essence in all, that which is the substratum of all existence. Purusha Nyayam is meaning that which needs to be known, both are one. Verse 20, he says, Prakriti, nature is a material cause. Upadana Karanam, we say material cause. So, like clay is for the pot, gold is for the jewelry, sugar is for any sweet dish. In this universe, everything has both. Here, Prakriti is referred as Maya, illusion. That is the power of Brahman. It is not a separate entity. Purusha and Prakriti both are in all appearances. Atman and Anatma. Both Purusha and Prakriti have no beginning, referred to as Anadi in Sanskrit. Adi means beginning. So no beginning and therefore no end. Now, how can illusion be not an end? That's the question. Brahman is the isness, can never be non-existent, ever present. Therefore, no beginning and no end. But Maya is illusion, was never present. So the snake appeared on the rope. When did it appear? Nobody can say. Right? I cannot say how long do you know Rabindranath, for example? I can say maybe for the past year or two. But how long do you don't know him? I cannot say. Same thing, right? So Maya never existed. It only appears like a rainbow. Therefore, it has no beginning, not in existence, therefore Anadi. Brahman is Anadi because it is ever present. It didn't start, it didn't originate at one point. Even though both are diametrically opposite, both have no beginning. Like, in Tamil, we say full pot and empty pot, both don't make noise. Because one is full, one is empty. Brahman is full, complete, no beginning. Maya is illusion, never existed, therefore no beginning. Both are anadi. The second explanation is Maya itself is a modification of, not Maya, the time itself is a modification of Maya illusion. There is no time per se, it is only now. Past and present and future are in our mind. You cannot go back to last Sunday. Let me listen to that again. It's a recording. You can go only in the mind. You cannot go back to that particular time, right? All the timings that we see or hear, astrological time, biological time, and atomical time or nuclear time, all this time is all created by man. Now is the only time, always. So anything that appears from Maya is also illusory because Maya itself is illusory. So deceptive, that is imaginary. Maya is also referred to as Trigunatmika Maya, that is three qualities, Sattvam, Rajas, and Tamas. And this is elaborated in chapter 14. So one Nirguna Brahman becomes three, which is three gunas. Three gunas become five elements, space, air, fire, water, earth. And that five becomes many. So 1 to 3 to 5 to many. That's how everything has happened. There's only one, but it appears many. What we see interact with is all nature's beauty, which is all illusion. Nothing exists forever. Everything has a beginning and an end. So he has mentioned that from it's also in we can study in Maya Panchakam. First, these five elements come as a rudimentary elements like a ore, and then with Panchikarman, there's a process. The Sukshma Shariram is formed, and from there comes the Sthula Shariram and everything. So Prakriti, nature, Maya, that is illusion, is the cause of this gross and subtle inert universe. That which came from Prakriti is subject to change, subject to modification. So Prakriti and modified object is called Vikriti. Like clay is Prakriti, pot is Vikriti. Wood is Prakriti, anything that is made, a table, chair, they are all Vikriti. So illusion Maya is Prakriti modified into universe, which is Vikriti. That which is limited by space, time and object, that is Desha Kala Vastu. That which is limited by these three is referred as Maya Prakriti. Always think about it. Anything that exists in front of us with a small e has got a beginning and has an end. Someday something will break, right? So, and it is limited to space. Whatever is here in Virginia is not in India. Like this body, Vijaya, right? So there's a column is time. You never know how long this body will be there. Column. Vastu is this particular embodiment. So it is beyond that. Maya is beyond that. All these have beginning and end. Gross body is the effect of subtle body. Subtle body is the effect of Prakriti illusion. All bodies are part of this universe. When we say universe, oftentimes we leave our body and say, I am looking at the universe. But this universe is subject to change, impermanent, and so is our body and mind also. We include everybody's body as part of the universe. When you see me as part of the universe. When I see you as part of the universe. But this is all Maya. So with this knowledge, all bodies and minds are not different from the universe. That should be understood. Prakriti, nature is inert. Inert means anything that does not know I exist. A computer doesn't know I exist. A pen doesn't know. A book doesn't know. A coffee cup doesn't know I exist, right? But Atman only knows I exist. And this Prakriti also is without personality, with three personalities, sattva, rajas, sattva, rajas and tamas, gunas. And this Prakriti is the cause of all appearances, not created appearances. Entire universe is an appearance. The Prakriti has modified into universe our gross and subtle bodies. This Prakriti has no knowledge, innately innate, but we experience the knowledge. Knowing is in our mind. That knowing is Purusha, consciousness, Chaitanyam, Chit, knowledge. Now, consciousness is the cause of all experiences of the mind. Because that consciousness is there in this body, this mind is able to see or infer anything, grasp everything. Without it, nothing will happen. It is just a log of wood, right? So this consciousness is referred as Purusha, Chaitranyan, Nirguna Brahman, Nyayam, Atman. You can call it with any name, inner presence. So Nirguna Brahman gives existence and sentiency to Prakriti. The nature is dependent on Brahman or Atman and leaning on Atman. This embodiment, example, is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Sattva is prayer, thinking. We are going to go deeper in chapter 14. Sattva is always calm and quiet, not disturbed by anything. And Rajas is activities, achievement, accomplishment. Tamas is, I wouldn't say sleep, but it is not active, it is lethargic. And every being has all these three gunas. That is, the inert mind is transformed into knowledge. That Atman gives both existence and knowledge to Prakriti. Prakriti is Maya, illusion, is the Brahman. Is in Brahman, sorry. That illusion is non-existence, appears to exist as a power of Nirguna Brahman. Now, Maya is the cause of all birth. Sun is bright, as an example, and its brightness shines everywhere, mountains, rocks, plains, rivers, people, animals, everywhere. But only a clean mirror can reflect the sun. Similarly, the Brahman are all around us, but it can reflect only in a pure mind. When it reflects in a mind, then we say, I know. It attains knowledge. The mind experiences the universe. We'll see that in the slide also. Without that Brahman, the mind has no power, no value or experiences. That is why a dead body cannot reflect. But Atman is there, but the body is not functional. The equipment is not functional. It's just like electricity is always there, but the bulb is fused. Bulb cannot get that electricity. So that's what happens. So the reflection of Atma, the intellect, glows the entire world, experiences of the world. Now, another example, as long as there is the mirror is there, the reflection of the sun would be there, right? If you just leave the mirror, there is nothing to reflect. It does not have the capacity to reflect anything. There is nothing there. So the sun is reflected in the mirror. The clean mirror reflects the sun. Sun is the one which brightens all. Similarly, mind is a metaphor for clean mirror. Sun is a metaphor for Supreme Brahman. That Brahman's reflection illumines the intellect. That body is referred as Jiva. Only when it reflects, it is referred as Jiva, individual, ego, I. This individual now thinks, I am the body and mind, I am here, this is me. When this body is destroyed, I will be destroyed. That is ignorance. But in reality, that individual is not the reflected consciousness, it is the illumining consciousness. Not knowing this, the individual develops an attachment to the body and mind and experiences the world and caught in the cycle of birth and death. In verse 21, he says, this is the most prominent analysis discussion in scriptures. If Nirguna Brahman is just the witness, Akarta and Abhokta, mind is inert, then who is the experiences? Who gets the liberation? That Brahman as a reflected consciousness is experiencing life, not Nirguna Brahman, not the supreme consciousness, but the reflected consciousness which illumines everything. That's what enjoys, that's what goes through sufferings. There are three personalities of nature. The reflected sun is in the mirror, illumines things around. And if it thinks that I am illuminating everything else, and it thinks that I and this mirror are one. Similarly, the reflected consciousness associates the body, mind, and intellect, resulting in repeated birth and death. Ego, that is the ego. That reflected consciousness, not the illumining consciousness, is experiencing the sattva, rajas, and tamas. That reflected consciousness is I, ego, jiva, individual. This jiva, individual, this I, should get the knowledge and realize that I am the witness, not attached to anything. I am the observer of all activities around me in the mind, body, and in the world. I illumine this mind. I see the modifications of this body. I am the witness of all movements, actions. I am the seer. I am the observer. If you have any questions, please ask, because this is very critical. Just like the reflected sun could think that I and mirror are one, similarly, the reflected consciousness in the mind is attached to body and mind. Now, who needs liberation? Who gets liberated? That person, the reflected consciousness, because of ignorance of not knowing the true self, attachment with the body, mind, and intellect is the cause of birth and death. That reflected consciousness has to get the knowledge, and that I am the witness, I am not the reflected consciousness. I am the observer of all activities. That is what means upadrishta, verse 22. Upadrishta means I am very close, very, very close. I am with you. Anumanta means I have no likes or dislikes. I accept everything. Everything is happening, whatever is happening around us in the world, in our body. We have not chosen anything. It all happens, it's all because of that Anumanta, right? That reflected consciousness. The cause of all our suffering is the expectation that this should happen, that should not happen, he should say this, he should not say this, I should not be sick, I should be healthy. This is all in our mind. But Nirguna Brahman has no expectation, free flow. Anything that happens is by divine guidance. Even if the individual jiva doesn't like it. Therefore, because divine is not attached to anything. When you are not attached to anything, you are not affected. Generally, think about it in transactional reality. Something happens 4 buildings away, one of our friends, he passed away. Or he lost his job, or whatever happens. How are you affected when the same situation happens in your house with your family members? Because there is an attachment, right? So Nirguna Brahman is completely detached. Is asangaha, is not attached to anything. So that reflected consciousness is experiencing the pain and pleasure. Once the reflected consciousness, jiva, realizes that I am not dependent on this world. On the contrary, the universe is dependent on me. I am in this body. Because of my presence, this body is experiencing everything. When a jiva realizes this, that is what we have. Who am I? I am the one who is illumining this body and mind. I am not this Vijaya. I am the one illumining. This name and form is for this embodiment. That such a person, when he understands this clearly, will not be perturbed by any external situations. Now, verse 23, one who knows, understands that this Purusha and Prakriti, that is Supreme Consciousness and nature, is one. In whichever stage of life, in whichever ashrama, as a student, family person, retired, or renunciate, a sannyasi, attains liberation. He leaves everything to prarabdha, no rebirth. Up till now, he completed all the 6 words that we were talking about. Now, verse 24 and 25, it talks about the path to liberation, moksha, which is divided into 5 parts, 5 steps. First one is purity of mind, meaning our mind should be objective, without likes and dislikes, unbiased. Be a seer, don't take side or observe. Without knowing the truth, humans are caught in illusion. Nitya, Anitya, one alone is, but it appears as many. Many are in this rat race, not knowing the goal of in their life. What is the purpose of my birth, human birth? How do I reach without destroying or this golden opportunity? How do I capitalize on this human birth that I have received? These thoughts don't come because we are caught in this illusion of glamour. Therefore, the first step is the purity of mind. Then discern the truth from appearance. Know the purpose of human existence. Third one is self-knowledge. Fourth one is that knowledge appears to give me all that appears to give me pleasures is or in reality causes bondage. Right? Everything that attracts you, you go for it, is a pleasure, but it also has a consequence, that is plurality. The entire universe is plurality. With that knowledge, develop a dispassion, stay grounded on the self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is a preliminary requirement. For self-knowledge, the preliminary requirement is purity in the mind. There are no differences. Differences are in our mind. Okay? So first one is pure mind. Second one is single pointed focus. Since the mind has been habituated to the external environment at all times, it is always agitated, distracted, and unable to be calm. Having constantly meeting, talking, chatting, interacting, Jiva is bombarded with worldly information. It is a challenge to be calm and composed. We either go to TV or YouTube or phone calls, or we are drawn to these things. To calm down and develop single-pointed focus, we have learned it in chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga meditation. Relaxation meditation and concentration meditation, everyday mental relaxation. This is absolutely necessary even in day-to-day activities. Even to read a book or chant or listen to music, you need single-pointed focus. So practice that for 10 to 15 minutes on a daily basis. Pure mind is required now. The first one, then single-pointed focus is required. Then next is the self-knowledge, Atmajnana. Mere 1 and 2 is not enough. There are people who are extremely good, kind, with purified mind, perform meditation consistently, but also are often caught with life challenges and unable to face them because they have not gained the self-knowledge. Those are ritualistic, not spiritual. Question would arise, should arise, who is God? What is the connection between God and me? What is the connection between God and the universe? Without that inquiry, one can never attain liberation. Because we can do any number of pujas, prayers, meditation, going to temple, archana, abhishekam, all these things for years. I have done it for 50, 60 years. But unless you know who am I, liberation is not possible. These are addressed in Upanishads and Gita. What Upanishad says needs to be heard. Heard is Shravana, which is active listening, not reading. Book reading could lead to misunderstanding because every Sanskrit word in Upanishad has got more than 50 meanings. I may put second meaning, you may put 21st meaning, somebody may put 31st meaning, somebody may put 47 meaning, and everything can be misunderstood. The intended meaning should be understood, and for that, listening is the only way. So he says, just like we clean the banana leaf or the plate before eating, the mind needs to be cleaned to be ready to observe. As we listen to those scriptures, we realize it is a deep concept that we have never thought of, we have never heard of, never dreamt of. That we have lived and experienced several challenges, struggles, and sufferings. We pray to God in those difficult times, but the scripture says, you are that. You and that are one. Tattvam asi. It is not an easy statement to understand. So thinking, inquiring, clarification, this is all important. Mananam. First is listen. The more we are confused, the more question would arise and get clarified. It is good to have these questions. There is no silly questions. Whatever question comes, that means something has gone inside and Mananam is going on. So clarifying doubts and getting convinced is number 4. Number 5 is Nidhidyasana, meditation after gaining the self-knowledge. Meditation itself has got 2 parts. We have seen this in chapter 6, Upasana and Dhyana. Dhyanam is after the self-knowledge, Upasana is before the self-knowledge. So as we read and listen again and again, with intensity, high intensity, vehemently, we are intellectually very well aware of this concept, but really doesn't seem to align with my day-to-day life. It doesn't apply to my day-to-day life. How can I use it? How can I practice it? These questions always arise. Nidhidyasana is a practice where one watches oneself, conscious awareness of my own thoughts, my words, and my behavior. Self-reflection. This is perpetual daily routine. Not conscious of something, but what I am the consciousness, that thought. Before self-knowledge, we prayed to God, we chanted His name. Now we practice being aware. We are awareness with a capital A. I am not aware of something, right? So just be not aware of. Before self-knowledge, divine was aware somewhere. Then it is close to me. The third one is I am that. Not separate, not aware. I am that is the realization. Say, for example, you go for a hike. You have a backpack and you have food in that. Initially, it is separate. Then you take a break and you eat it. So it is not in the backpack. Backpack is light, but it is in you. But still, it is separate. After a couple of hours, it gets digested. Then it is in you completely, right? So similarly, God is different before. When we are in Dvaita, Asti, there is God, I'm going to pray to God. Then now, as we get into scriptures, God is with me in my body, is the second. The third one is, I am that. God alone is, just like the digested food. There is no fast track for self-realization. It might take several lives, or sometimes it can take in this life itself. Therefore, constant, consistent, regular practice is absolutely necessary. Our day-to-day existence has to be meditation, focus with concentration. Just attending Gita classes for a year will not help to reduce our anger. Meditation is not just for 1 hour sitting quietly. It is how we live 23 hours, the rest. If you argue, fight, abuse, do all the negative thoughts for 23 hours, and then you sit for meditation, you cannot achieve anything. All those thoughts will come. It's not just sitting in a particular posture, practicing chanting. It is a lifestyle. Constant awareness 24/7, 365 days, as long as is needed. Each one is in a different step. Verse 24, it says, only those who have crossed the first four can come to Nidhidyasana. First one is a pure mind, second is single pointed focus, third one is self-knowledge, and fourth one is Nidhidyasana. Or ask questions. Fourth one is ask question, fifth one is Nidhidyasana. Some are in Karma Yoga, service to others, other beings. Others are in Shravanam, listening. Self-assessment is needed to identify where we are and proceed, but there is no skipping here. You cannot skip elementary school and go to high school, or you cannot skip high school and go to college, right? So if the mind has plenty of likes and dislikes and always drawn out, Karma Yoga is the path. We call it work is worship. 1 minute, something pops up. So if the mind has plenty of likes and dislikes always drawn outside, then Karma Yoga is a path. We call it work is worship. If the mind is agitated, always anxious, worried, then upasana, relaxation, concentration, meditation is the path. This is the beauty of our scriptures. Humans have the free will to choose. We create our own destiny. It's all in our hands. We are the product of our choices. As we walk in this step, we can recognize how far we have spiritually evolved, grown, as we continue to listen. This is the final practice, which is Nidhidyasana. These steps continue birth after birth until self is realized. One can never attain self-realization without these steps. Ramana and Shankara attained, or many sages attained this because they have done all these steps in the previous births. Without these 5 steps, no chance of liberation, release from this bondage. Verse 26, all beings, including the movable and immovable, are the combination of field and knower of the field. Maya and Brahman, illusion and Atman. Any and all existence are the combination of sentiency and non-sentiency. Nirguna Brahman and matter. Atma and Anatma. The knowing principle is the seer, consciousness. The inert matter, effect of illusion, are the seen. I see my body, I see my mind, so I'm not those matters, right? Then we merge them together without discerning. That's the cause of all sufferings. At the microcosmic level, matter, that is our senses, body, mind, and intellect, plus Atma. At the macrocosmic level, the entire universe and Brahman. So at the microcosmic level, when I associate with myself with all this body, mind, and senses, that I call it as I. Therefore, cyclical process of birth and death happens. Humans, a common person, unable to discern the Atma from Anatma. We often say, I'm walking, I'm seeing, I'm talking. I'm not walking. These legs are walking. These eyes are seeing. These are tools. These are our tools to use. The tongue is tasting. These are the tools for the reflected consciousness. Mind is referred as Chittabhasa. Chitta Akasha, that is Chit space. It will think about a screen. And all movements happens in that projected screen. Everything, right? We see the movie. Therefore, this field body appears to be sentient. Mind sees the action. Atma illumines the mind. The senses go out and get information from all five senses, through 5 senses. But the eye cannot tell you whether it is a pen or a pencil. It will only show you the object like a telescope. The mind is what interprets it. So all activities are happening on that one Atma. These changes, activities are happening in the inert body. Because they're happening because of that one atom. That it's happening on that Atma is an illusion. When there is a fire in a movie, the screen doesn't get affected, it doesn't get burnt. Similarly, a reflected consciousness recognizes that the entire universe, appearance, sustenance, dissolution are all like movie. A jnani sees the universe as a drama, whereas the ignorant is agitated due to seeing it as real. From the absolute perspective, all emotions are insignificant. Example is an elephant is carved out of wood. The carpenter sees the wood, but his child will see the elephant. It's how we see. We have different perspectives. That is why we have different perspectives based on our perspectives in the mind. We enjoy it or we suffer. Second one, he says, give an example, says it's a gloomy day. There is no sun today. The clouds are hiding the sun. How can you say that? The very fact that you are able to see the cloud is because of the sun, right? Otherwise, at night you don't see the cloud. So the very fact that we are seeing this cloud informs you or infers you that there is a sun. The very fact that I am able to talk infers that Atman is there. You don't need to prove it. It is already there. So the cloud is visible because of the sun. They hide our vision. They don't hide the sun. Similarly, all our likes and dislikes hide the Brahman, which is Atman, which is in this body. You have to eliminate all those. That is why neti neti, not this, not this. You have to eliminate all this. The world can give us pleasure and pain depending on how we look at it, our perspective. When we see everything as that one divine, it's all divine experience, acts of God. All movements are divine. We call it Nataraja dance or Krishna Leela or, in Tamil it is Thiruvilayadal. So be a part of this world, yet apart from it. Be an observer. Step back. Don't let anything affect you. Affects you because your mind is thinking negative. So that Brahman is equally present in all perishable things as imperishable. This is a vision of Jnani, a realized master. The challenges in the changeless in the ever-changing appearance, the entire universe. That is the substratum. All changes are because of that one presence. Others also see the universe, but they don't see it. That is the difference between sight and vision. Elephant and wood. Blind vision. That was the blind vision is a symbol. King Dhritarashtra was a symbolic representation of this blind vision, both figuratively and literally. That inner present Atman which illumines this body, the same Atman illumines all beings. Not knowing this, we categorize, we classify, we catalog, that is ignorance. We say that person is a Christian, this person is a Muslim, this person is this bad, that person is good. It's all in our mind. You cannot prove it, right? The entire humanity is in ignorance except for few. However much one has studied scriptures, if this is not grasped, practiced, realized, that individual only can be called as Pandit, scholar, not realized. Verse 28, Saman Pashyati Drishtaha, equanimous. One who sees oneness does not destroy oneself. One who sees the body as I take multiple births. That I, one who sees the body, that I, ignorant is the ego, it takes multiple births. Each time a body is taken, the jiva destroys the Atman or the reflected consciousness until self is realized. That is referred to as suicide. That is Atma Hatya. Not the real Atma, the reflected consciousness. So when the reflected consciousness is dead, then it comes back again. another reflected consciousness. So what is equanimous? Atma, the inner presence in this body, is the same in all bodies. When an individual is firm in this knowledge, he is protecting oneself from the external pressures, undisturbed, unperturbed, unagitated. That is the gist of verse 28. And we have seen that in 6.5 also, your mind is your friend and enemy. Verse 29. Having taken this human birth, all activities are performed by the senses, body, mind. Inactivity is just not possible. There is never an inactive body or mind. Even during meditation, mind is quiet, and being quiet is also an activity. Sitting silently for an extended period of time is a challenge. It is a difficult task. Walking slowly, long distance you can walk, but walking fast you cannot walk long distance. You can only walk short distance. So the body and mind to be in the state of inactivity is just not possible. But they all act and functions in the presence of proximity of the Atman. Sanityam, we call it Sannidhanam, vicinity. Because of that, Atman is present. All these organs are functioning. Atman by itself is inactive, neither does anything nor enjoys anything. Like a magnet, keep a magnet. Magnet doesn't do anything, but all iron filings are attracted to it. One example. Another one is think about the train tracks. Tracks don't do anything, they are just there. But so many trains go back and forth. Similarly, Atman is the essence, substratum. That is the mindset of Jnani, realized person. I am not doing anything. Everything is getting done through this body. The Prakriti is acting. I am the witness. With this knowledge, his body, mind, and intellect acts, performs. Such a Jivan is not affected. Verse 30, the entire universe is in two states of Maya. That is, one is manifested expressive state, visible, accessible to experience through the senses. That is one thing. Unmanifested, dormant, bijavastha, invisible, that is another one. Nobody knows what you are thinking, right? That is unmanifested. But once you think that I'm going to make this computer and you make it, then that is expressed in Stula. So one who realizes that both these are of Brahman is the realized. Brahman's reflection not separate from Brahman. Like the ocean and waves are one and the same. Brahman and the power of Brahman, both are one. That power is the power of Brahman is the Maya, is the illusion. The power acts, functions, performs in the presence of Brahman. Verse 31, he says, that Brahman in this embodiment is not disturbed, affected by the activities of the body, mind, and intellect. It is a silent witness, Sakshi, imperishable, ever present, present in all beings, does not perform, therefore it is inactive, akarta. It doesn't, because it is not performing, it is not affected, it is not bonded. Gives the example of space or air. The air has, when the air moves in the space, it doesn't take any foul smell or fragrance from a flower. It is not affected, whatever it is. The sun is not affected whether it reflects in the sacred water of Ganges or Nile or in the dirty water in the street. The sun is not affected. It reflects everywhere, right? Those both waters. Just like the street light, we see the street light. It is not affected whether there is a wedding procession or a funeral procession. So similarly, Brahman is not affected. That supreme Brahman has no beginning, no end, limitless, all-pervasive, and it is in all. That alone is. But all activities are due to Maya. And you are that. You are not the Maya, you are that. So Maya has three gunas: nature, personality, you can call it. Brahman is nirguna, without any gunas, without any attributes. You cannot define it. It is undefinable, undescribable. Maya illusion keeps changing, modifying, but Brahman is without modification, nirvikaram. A realized one is not affected, agitated by all these activities happening around. Even the destruction of the body is not his destruction. I don't die. I am ever present. I shed this body. That is the symbolism of Bhishma's. Yesterday was the Bhishmashtami. Bhishma said, I am not dying. I am choosing to die. So he is the witness. He is the witness of everything. Whether this body is healthy body or unhealthy body, I am the witness of it. We have already used this example about in verse 32. He repeats again the space, no pure or impure air in the space. Verse 33, Brahman is illumining all appearances. Brahman illumines the good and bad, righteousness and unrighteousness, birth and death, presence and absence. See, when a sun is there, sun or fire, they cannot illumine the darkness. They cannot show you the darkness. Whereas Atman can see both light and darkness, brightness and darkness. Right? Brahman is not affected by any of this. Verse 34, first step is this body is for the beginners. They think like that. Second step is I and body are different upon Shravana. Third one is I am the seer. Body, mind, and intellect are the seen, non-sentient, inert, illusion. I alone is. One who realizes this attains liberation. Discern the Atma from the world. That is the first is Vedanta has got two steps. Discern, separate, isolate Atma from the world. Recognize world is an appearance, not existent. It is just inert, like a rainbow. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Now he's giving us a summary of chapter 13, part 2. Purusha and Prakriti discern it. Often some of the textbooks have discrimination word, but discrimination in the Western society is not a positive word. So discern, ability to separate, isolate, understand the supreme self-knowledge. Mere studies of scriptures is not enough. Practice, self-reflect. Only then one can see, watch how people are caught in this world due to ignorance. When you realize it, you see people around all are suffering. Something are their problems. Why? Because of their mindset. They do not know that they are that Brahman, Atman. They associate themselves with their body. So all struggles come. They experience the experience being the observer of yourself and everything around you. At that point, we can recognize that everything is leaning on that one presence, that is on me, which leads to the understanding that the nature, prakriti, matter is dependent on that one Purusha. Consciousness alone is. Purusha is independent, not dependent on anything. But prakriti is not different from Purusha. But it is not a second entity. It is leaning on Purusha. It's like I have the writing skills. I'm not writing now. But when I start writing, then it expresses, right? Same thing. Maya is the power of Brahma. It will express. Only when it expresses, you will be able to see it as an appearance. So it is leaning on Purusha or the power of Purusha, like a magic wand of a magician. Upon realization of this, there is no seeker. The seeker and the sought are one. That is a symbolic representation of camphor burning Or candle melts and comes down and there's nothing left. No wax is left, right? Same thing. You are one with it. When you understand this, you are one with it. When wood is burnt, on the contrary, the ash is left. And when that ash is left, then that's the final thing that you can see it. That is why we apply that symbolizes or reminds us that this body will one day become an ash. That is why we apply vibhuti every day to remind us this body is temporary. One day it will become ash. I am that. I am the seer of this body. With that, here concludes chapter 13. Let's go to slides and then come back. So this is verse 19 to 34. Prakriti and Purusha both are anadi, no beginning. Purusha is ever-present existence. Maya is never-presence, non-existence, appearance. Kshetranyan, Purusha, Neyam are all the same. Neyam means that which needs to be known. Purusha is all-pervasive. It has to be known, that which is to be known. Purusha and Prakriti. Just that's what it is. It is not the male and female, but it is, even though we call it that way for our understanding, it is the power of Brahma. This is a Dvaita. The one appears as different. Dvaita Bhavana. This is verse 19. Time is an illusion, now alone is past and present are in the mind. Everything that appears is not Rajas does. Maya has three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. So whatever came from Maya also has three gunas. If you make something out of sugar, naturally it's going to be sweet. Same thing. It has no independent existence. It's leaning on Brahman. Mithya is that which we experience, but has no locus of existence. If you see a snake on a rope, the snake has no locus of existence. You cannot touch it, take it, and use it with your five senses. It's only in the mind. Similarly, the mithya, everything is just appearance and experiences. From three gunas came tanmatras, rudimentary elements, space, air, fire, and water and earth. From tanmatras, sukshma sharira came with 17 parts. We will study this in Atma Bodha. From tanmatras, after panchikarna came sthula sharira. All that Jiva sees, interacts with, including this body, mind, and intellect, is all illusion, Prakriti. Now, this is how just to put this: is this person looking straight or looking side? It is an illusion. It is each one's perspective. That's exactly what life is all about. This is Prakriti. This is Vikriti. This is gold is Prakriti. Jewelry is Vikriti. So Purusha, Kshetramyan, Nirguna Brahman gives existence, the isness to Prakriti. So this is Maya. And Maya brings down appears as a earth, or Prapancham, or universe. So Prakriti, nature is illusion, appearance, non-existence. This is you, Sakshi Chaitanyam. You are the witness. What happens is when you see the world, anything that you see, you get light waves in the mind. So this one is inert. You don't see the object per se, even scientifically. You get the light waves in your mind. Mind is inert. Mind is like a mirror. The reflection comes in the mind. That is light waves, manovritti. And this reflection of this supreme consciousness illumines this light waves. And we think that I am this. I am not this. I am this. But we don't know that. We think I am this. That is the ego, mind, intellect, equipment, jivan, we call it life force, ahankara chaitanya. That is the ego. This is what we are all. But we don't know that. We always think I am this body and mind and intellect. No, we are not. One who understands Supreme and Prakriti as both are one attains moksha. He can be from any ashrama, brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, or any kind of varnas, which is referred in chapter 4, verse 13. This is applicable to the entire humanity, not just for Indians, just for certain community. It is for the entire universe, all humans. So Nirguna Brahman plus body and mind and intellect is Jiva. Jiva minus body, mind and intellect is Atman. Therefore, Nirguna Brahman and Atman are one and the same. In Tamil, we say Andathil irkarda, Pindathil irko. Same thing. That reflected consciousness has to know that is this one, right? The reflected consciousness should know that I am the witness of this body, mind, world, intellect world they all appear in me. I am the observer of all activities. I accept all happenings. I have no likes and dislikes. The cause of all jiva suffering is the expectation that this should not happen, this should happen, she should say this, she should not say this, because we expect. Whenever you expect, you are disappointed. First 5 steps to attain moksha is self-reflection. First one is pure mind. Second one is focus, single-pointed focus. Third one is knowledge, self-knowledge. You can learn everything in this universe. We learn so many things, but none of them are knowledge. They are all information according to scriptures. We say, I have this knowledge. I have done double PhD. I know this subject in depth. That's all only for the reflected consciousness. So knowledge is self-knowledge. I am, that is the knowledge. Fourth one is agitated mind. Whenever mind is agitated, go to Vipassana. And here Shankara says, I am not the body, the mind, or the intellect, I am Shiva. This is Nirvana Shataka. These steps continue birth after birth until self is realized. Without these 5 steps, self is not possible. Verse 26, each appearance in this universe is a combination of Atma and Anatma and Atma, field and the knower of the field, Kshetram and Kshetrangyan. Seeing both as together without discerning is the cause of sufferings. When we say I, it is Chit, Chaitanya, but we associate with body, mind, and intellect, and we say I am Vijaya. So Stavara Jangama. Stavara is immovable, Jangama is movable. Everything is an image on the screen, so also everything appears in the mind. The screen doesn't burn. I am the seer of the mind. This is in Tamil, I'll send it to you later. I am the seer of the mind. 27 and 28, one who sees oneself in all has a divine vision. One who sees the differences, sees oneself as the current body-mind equipment, takes several births until self-realization. One alone is, that is you, Tattvam Asi. So whenever I see the animals, I try to see the oneness. Initially, 10 years ago, I used to be afraid of dogs and cats. But then once you change your thought, then you feel comfortable with this. We have 2 cats at home, and whenever I study, they are sitting next to me, always. So this is a cat, this is my dogs. A body cannot be without activities and can perform actions for an extended period of time. Whatever you do, you cannot do it for a long time. I mean, you can do all these things for a longer time compared to sitting quietly for a few minutes. Sitting quietly is just not possible without thinking, right? Even if you sit quietly, that is also an act. All activities are of the body and mind, but I am motionless, akarta, sakshi, witness. Because of sun, there is brightness. Because of fire, there is heat. So also because of the presence of Atma, all anatma indulges in activities. The entire universe is in two forms, that which has forms, names, leaning on our senses, that which are subtle, invisible to eyes, seed form, Bijavastha, are thoughts, ideas, and emotions. Both are created by Maya, the power of Brahman. This power of Brahman, many acts. Maya acts, Brahman does not act and is not affected by any of the activities performed around. Akarta, Brahman is Akarta, Abhokta, you are that. You are Tattvamasi. Divinity is all around you. Pause and change from sight to vision. Whenever I go for a walk, I take pictures of all this. And then I tell myself, how does a bud become a flower? That is, chit is there. This turtle is just observing everything, like dhyana, right? So these geese are all moving around in the water. First, isolate the Kshetram from Kshetranyan, Anatma from Atma. Then know that Anatma, Kshetram is just an appearance, therefore there has no real existence. That is the symbolism of Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam, camphor burning, or candle also. Atman and Brahman are one alone is, this is wood burning into an ash. So separation is the first one, elimination of the second is the second one, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Jagat is leaning on Brahman, Prakriti is leaning on Purusha. They are not two separate entities. Life is a small gap between birth and death, so in this gap, be happy and try to make others happy. Enjoy every moment of life. Before going to bed every night, forgive everyone and go to sleep with a clean heart. This is the ego and this is the higher self. You can read this. Ego complains about everything, sees only mistakes, scarcity mindset, lives in victim mentality. Higher self is grateful and finds joy in every moment. Sees, I'm not able to see it fully here. Let see. Sees lessons and open to learning. Sees, yeah, abundance mindset. This takes accountability to create a different reality. That is the divine mind, higher self. Switching your mind mentality from why is this happening to me to what is this trying to teach me is a game changer. Distance is only answer to disrespect. Don't react, don't argue, don't dive into the drama, simply remove your presence. You are not the body, mind, intellect, you are the witness, you be the observer. Do everything with a good heart and expect nothing in return, and you will never be disappointed. We are all visitors in this time, at this time, in this place, we are just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, learn, grow, and love, and then we return home. This is from Shankaracharya from Kanchipuram. I'm going to read this. So Acharya Guru teachings emphasizes that one should follow the religion they are born into. The core message is about the unity of religions and the importance of practicing universal value like truth, love, and righteousness. He taught that all religions ultimately lead to the same God, and there is no need to abandon one's own faith for another. The goal is to perfect one's devotion and character through their existing spiritual path rather than converting. Periva taught that all religions have a common goal of leading people to God and share the ideal of single, all-encompassing divinity. Focus on inner practice. He believed that the different forms of worship, temples, rituals are all just different paths to the same ultimate reality. The most important thing is to follow the principles of your own faith and practice virtues like love, truth, and righteousness. Against conversion, he discouraged changing religions, stating that it could be seen as demeaning, degrading both religion of birth and the one adopted. Instead, that means one is better than the other, right? That mindset. Instead, he advocated for perfecting one's own spiritual practice and character. Universal values, his guidance highlighted that qualities like truth, righteousness, peace, and love are universal and are the keys to spiritual growth, regardless of the specific religious path used. And the same thing has been said by Pope Francis. All religions are a path to reach God. There is only one God, and our religions are languages, paths to reach God. Some are Sikh, Muslim, Hindu, Christian, they are all different ways to God. This is the last one. This is, you can Google Ask Bandi here. I have done it here. So you can try that also. So somebody asked him, I see you making dua means prayer every day, but it seems that Allah does not respond to your prayers. And he says, how can you say that Allah does not respond to my prayer? Every moment I knock at his door, every heartbeat that remembers him, that itself is his response. For it is he who inspired me to call upon him in the first place. He may not give me what I asked for, but he surely gives me what I need. That is Yoga Ksheman. That is the same thing in Bhagavad Gita 9.22 is the same thing as this. What it says to me is all religions are same. But because we don't know, we have not studied those books, we think that this is better than that. It's all in our mind. Let us be no more the worshippers of creeds and sects with all limited notions of God, but see him in everything in the universe. Vivekananda. Chinmayananda, we live in a wonderful universe in which everyone and everything gives. The trees give, the rivers give, the earth gives, the sun, the moon, the stars give. Why then must we be anxious only to take to amass or to gather and hoard? Why should we accumulate stuff? Life is a circle of, sorry, that's the last one. Life is a circle of happiness and sadness, hard times and good times. So if you are going through hard times, have faith that good times are on the way. Change is inevitable. Those who can adjust quickly and bounce back from setbacks will always stay ahead. Life is unpredictable. Your ability to adapt defines your growth. With that, we complete chapter 13, and I will pause here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.